Here we are on the start of Helm Crag, walking up Easdale Road. Should take about 3 hours. Bypass the YMC car park and keep walking straight along Emsdale Road.
Up to the village and across the bridge over Easdale Beck.
So keep following the road until you get to the bridge, and then over Easdale Beck. That's where we're trying to get to. So continue walking down this road. Just past the cottages that are for let on the right, take the footpath and just keep following the footpath till you come to the bridge. And here we are at the bridge, known as the Becks. There should be a river. Easdale Beck, I've just been told. So continue up the road to the top of here. Continue past high fields on the right and keep walking straight along the road as far as I can see. Once you get to the river again, there's a small bridge, footbridge. Continue to follow the road up. Keep following the road. You should see a waterfall in the distance. Continue to follow it over to that. Helm Crag is there. Keep following the road past a little porrock. You see a stone, like a small rock on your right. Just keep walking straight along this road. When you get to the end of the road, it's split 3 ways. You want to take the right hand corner road, which is not for cars. Continue walking. Once you get to the gate, you'll come to a fork in the road. Take the right hand fork. Then this is the start of the hike up to the top of Helm Crag. Once through the gate, turn right and follow the path which should lead up. Keep walking up the stairs and then follow the path. This is the first stage of the descent. There's a waterfall in the distance, so we should be visiting that later. The path does get a bit steep and a bit stony. We're just following it up, which should take you to the first or the second part of the climb. This part does get quite steep, so it's not for the faint-hearted or anybody with any difficulty walking, including you. Was that?
It's windy.
Oh, it's windy as well. Once you're up the steep rocky part, you get a nice view of Grasmere Lake in the distance. And then the path from now is quite easy going for a bit. Then looks like more rocks. It gets rocky again from here and quite steep, but it doesn't look too bad. Right, the next part's quite easy going. Looks like it levels out a bit, but we're not quite near the top yet, and I think that's not the top. I think there's a bit more over the back of that. We'll have a look once we get there. The path from here goes up quite steeply. And then just over here, we can see Easdale. We've got a nice waterfall which we'll be visiting later. That's quite large. It's getting a little bit cloudy now, so I'm not sure if the rain's going to set in, but anyway, let's just keep going. Very steep and jagged rocks from here, so quite difficult, but luckily it's not too slippy today, so we're not doing too bad. The next stage is quite easy going, not too bad, quite short. But again, some amazing views of Grasmere and the lake. Once to the top of there, there's some more steps leading up, and I think those people at the top there is the top. It looks like, it feels like it just might have started raining as well. So I might have to put my coat on. It's not rained yet, but it's looking quite cloudy and dark. But the next stage, quite easy, just a pebble path up to that ridge. And Julia's falling a little bit behind now. She's getting a little bit out of breath, but doing all right. What do you think of it so far?
Oh, knackering.
The next part's just pretty much grass, easy going, not too difficult. Up to about 1,000 feet now. Let's see part of the lake again. And I've just realised where that waterfall's coming from. This looks like a little lake from the distance there. Have to check that out later on. Got some amazing views, and we're still not at the top. Next part again, just grass really, like a hill. And it looks like just at the top of there, maybe a bit rockier. We'll have a look when we get there. Well, the next part looks very steep and quite difficult. A nice view there of the A66. That's Grasmere Lake, not too far from the summit now. If you look really carefully, you should be able to see our car, which is, where is it?
It's over there.
Oh yeah, right over there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on here. Just by that white building to the left, it's a tiny little lay-by, and that's where our car's parked. So quite a distance we've travelled from there all the way up to here, but we've still got to go back yet. So off to the top. Thought that was the top then, but it's not. Still got this bit to go, but still looks quite steep, quite rocky. But I'm hoping that just over there will be the top. The sun's coming out.
Yeah.
Good.
Sun's coming out for us when we get there, so we can see everywhere.
Well, this part here is what's known as the Lion and the Lamb, because from the bottom, looking up from the A66 or Grasmere, that big part there looks like a lion's head. Next to it is a little small body that looks like a lamb. But it's quite high. Get back down to the A66, but very steep drop over here, which I would not like to fall off of. But very good views. Still not at the highest point yet. That's the bit that looked like the lion's head. To the top of that now. We just need to go to the one at the back of that rock, which should be the summit. This last part is definitely a climb up rocks to the summit, and don't fall because it could be quite nasty. I'm now at the top of this, what I thought was a summit, but I was wrong. That rock over there in the distance is actually Helm Crag, which I need to climb on top of that. So a little bit way to go, very rocky and a steep climb. Okay, well, they said it's quite steep, did they? They say it's quite steep. See the lake over there now, the Feast of Waterfall. Right, this is the top of Helm Crag, and that big rock on its side there is a summit, which you'd have to climb to the top to get to the very peak. I'm not sure if we'll be doing that today, as it got a bit windy and a little bit cold, but the views spectacular. There. Over there can't see much because there's lots of rocks around, but lots to see. Right, that's my video trip of Helm Crag in the lakes. I only managed to get halfway up that. My hands got a bit too cold, so I gave up. But I was only about 4 foot away from the peak. I'll wait till it's warmer and then I'll come back again. Right, back down again now, down to Grasmere. And if you look carefully in the background there, you'll see another big lake. That's Lake Windermere. We'll be visiting that later on today. But down now today, ease down and then over to the waterfall. And here we are at the waterfall. Not quite there yet, but we'll go a bit further and have a good look. A bit closer to the waterfall now. Quite impressive. And here we are at the waterfall. It's quite noisy, but very impressive.
What?
So East Del Tarn, and that's where we were earlier at the top of Helm Crag. Now back to Grasmere for some lunch.